Hello everyone. So what I did is I wrote down all trades for all Jimmy Butler trades for all 30 teams. Now obviously only one of these could happen, but I mean, you know, I just did this for fun. Now you're probably thinking, well, Jimmy Butler's obviously not going to the Magic or the Hawks. I just decided to write it down. Alright, so first, I ironically, actually, wasn't ironically, ironically it is the Magic. The Magic gets Jimmy Butler and Jeff Teague, and the Timberwolves get Nick Vucevic and Jonathan Isaac. And a second round pick in 2019 and 2025. The next one was for my favorite team, the Denver Nuggets. And it was the Nuggets get Jimmy Butler, Timberwolves get Isaiah Thomas and Will Barton. The reason this would work out because I don't know if Jeff Teague would be a long-time point guard, and I think we can all agree right now Jeff Teague isn't as good as Isaiah Thomas. And also, hold on a sec. And Will Barton could be a starting caliber shooting guard. He is. I mean, it's because he's not starting because the Nuggets have a very deep at shooting guard. So the Rockets, for the Rockets, Rockets get Jimmy Butler and Taj Gibson, and the Timberwolves get Eric Gordon, first round pick in 2020, Zhu Qi, and Tariq Black. I don't know. I guess Tariq Black, because I looked it up on Basketball Reference, and I'm pretty sure it said Tariq Black is actually power forward, or it was either him or Nene Hilario. Anyways, next team is Jimmy Butler to the Warriors. So I did Jimmy Butler and Gorgui Dieng for Klay Thompson and Jacob Evans. Next is the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat get Jimmy Butler and a second-round pick in 2020. And the Timberwolves get Goran Dragic, Josh Richardson, and a 2020 pick for the second round. And the Sacramento Kings get Jimmy Butler. And the Timberwolves get Zach Randolph and De'Aaron Fox. Next is the Phoenix Suns. They get Jimmy Butler, and I have this all written down here. The Suns get Jimmy Butler, and the Timberwolves get Mikal Bridges, Trevor Ariza, and a first from 2021. And the reason you're probably like, well, they just signed Trevor Ariza. Why would they give him up? And I know that does sound kind of stupid. And then here's the one. Sorry, I saw this paper. All right. This one is the most likely. Jimmy Butler to the Clippers. Jimmy Butler and Taj Gibson to the Clippers, and the Minnesota Timberwolves get Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, and Jerome Robinson. Now you're probably thinking, whoa, I think that's maybe a bit too much. Like, not Jerome Robinson. I mean, he's a rookie. But they did get, they did draft shooting guard / point guard. Sorry, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And I don't know if they're going to keep him. I think they are going to keep him long term. So yeah. Next one, Jimmy Butler to New York. The Knicks get Jimmy Butler. Minnesota gets Frank Ntilikina and S. Cantor and a first rounder for 2022. Next one is Jimmy Butler to Brooklyn. And Minnesota gets Raid Zagorak, who's a rookie, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Karis LeVert. Next one is the Lakers. Jimmy Butler to the Lakers. The Lakers will get Jimmy Butler, Gorgui Dieng. And you're probably wondering, why is this Gorgui Dieng? I mean, he's a pretty suitable backup center. It's because he kind of has a bad contract. The Timberwolves are actually very good on bad contract, but if you were to say, oh, this guy has a bad contract, it would be Gorgui Dieng. I can't remember his contract, but it's like, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's not that bad, but, alright, and Minnesota gets a first-round pick 2023, Ivica Zubac, and Malik Newman. And I did, because most of their role players they signed this year, and I didn't want the Lakers to just immediately trade one of their role players. And if you don't know Malik Newman, he went undrafted, and then the Lakers picked him up, the Nets picked him up, and then I think he went back to the Lakers. I think the Lakers traded him for like a second rounder in 2022. And he's from Kansas. Kansas Jayhawks College. Alright? And also, I did first rounder 2023. Ivica Zubac, Malik Newman, and $5 million in cash considerations. And also a second rounder in 2019. Alright, next one is Cleveland. Cleveland gets Jimmy Butler, and the Timberwolves have to give up just Kevin Love and your man, George Hill. Alright. So, yeah, next team, the Trailblazers get Jimmy Butler and Aaron Brooks, who's the backup point guard. So he basically has no value. He did play some shooting guard minutes, but he is a bit undersized for that, you know? It smells like wax. Yeah, it smells like wax outside. Whatever. No, that's not wax, is it? Anyways. So yeah. And the Timberwolves have to give up. The Timberwolves get C.J. McCollum, Zach Collins, 2020 second round pick. Alright, and the Mavericks get Jimmy Butler. And the Minnesota Timberwolves get Dwight Powell, Shake Milton, and Wesley Matthews. Now, Shake Milton was their Mavericks second round pick. They had 2 second round picks. I think their first one was like the 62nd pick. I could be wrong. Or 32nd, my bad. They took Mr. Jalen Brunson. Is that his name? Oh, and they also got this guy named Ray Spalding. And they also got Shake Milton. Pretty interesting first name. So, yeah. And then Wesley Matthews could play starting shooting guard minutes. And Dwight Powell is just a good backup center. He's good at pick and rolls and stuff. Anyways, the Pelicans get Jimmy Butler. And the Timberwolves get Nikola Mirotic, Etwan Moore, and a first-round pick, 2025. Second rounder for 2019 and 2020. Now, yeah, I mean, that's basically self-explanatory. New Orleans is actually one of the only teams where they have really good power forwards. Obviously, Anthony Davis, their franchise player, is a power forward. And then wow, that's... I just saw like some two bunnies like wrestle. Anyways. Alright, so I was saying, New Orleans is one of the only teams where 3 of their 5 best players are power forwards. Anthony Davis, Julius Randle, and Nikola Mirotic. And their other 2 best players are both point guards, but Drew Holiday and Alfred Payton. Now, Drew Holiday can play shooting guard. Anyways, now this next team is the Bulls. Now, I don't see Jimmy Butler going back to the Bulls, but I had to fill it. So, the Bulls get Jimmy Butler. And then the Timberwolves get Robin Lopez, Denzel Valentine, a second-round pick in 2019 and 2023. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty good trade. Oh, yeah, and they also get, a second-round pick in 2020. Alright, so 3 second-round picks, Robin Lopez, and Denzel Valentine. Anyways, next team is the Pacers. They get Jimmy Butler, and the Timberwolves get Al Jefferson, Corey Joseph, Damian Wilkins, Alex Pontythress. Now you're probably like, oh my god, that's the worst name. He plays in the G League. Same with Damian Wilkins. You may recognize that last name. It's because he's the son of NBA superstar Dominique Wilkins, probably second best dunker of all time. And then also a second round pick in 2019. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. It's just a lot of filler. Al Jefferson, he's gonna retire soon. He can retire on a team he used to play for in Minnesota. Corey Joseph, he's another point guard, yes, but he can also play shooting guard, I'm pretty sure. And also Damian Wilkins, because actually I looked it up, and the Timberwolves, I can't remember what it was, their G League team is actually really bad. So Damian Wilkins and Alex Pontythress, was actually a G League All-Star this year, and they can help out the Minnesota G League team. Anyways, the Grizzlies get Jimmy Butler and Andrew Wiggins. Now you're probably thinking, why would Andrew Wiggins be in the deal when Jimmy Butler's kind of beefing with him and Karl Anthony Towns? Well, that's because I think it's mainly Andrew Wiggins or Karl Anthony Towns and Jimmy Butler beefing right now, and Andrew Wiggins is just immediately in the situation because him and Kat are best friends. But I don't really see this happening at all, but this was the only one I could think of. Jimmy Butler and Andrew Wiggins for Marc Gasol and Mike Conley. Now, I know this seems like a stretch because, well, Memphis fans would be kind of happy, but really, they'd be pretty much in the same situation, except even, you could argue, kind of worse because, well, they already have Chandler Parsons, and he can play starting small forward minutes, but he does have a bad contract. But here's the thing. He's really, he's a good shooter. I mean, he's pretty good. Anyways. Next, the Wizards get Jimmy Butler and Gorgie Dang. And the Timberwolves get Otto Porter, Ian Mahinmi, Kelly Oubre, and a first-rounder for 2024. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, that's bad. You know, Kelly Oubre's a good small forward. He could even start. Which, yeah, he can. And Otto Porter's obviously the starting small forward. But Kelly Oubre, he's good. But Ian Mahinmi, he can play backup center minutes. But it's basically, I think Gorgie Dang and Ian Mahinmi are at, like, the same level, where they're both big centers, and they both have bad contracts. So, it's basically a tick for a tack. Next one, the Spurs get Jimmy Butler. The Timberwolves get Pau Gasol, Brian Forbes, Davis Bertans, and a second rounder for 2019. Forbes and Bertans are basically just filler, and Pau Gasol could play starting power forward minutes, but he is old and he can retire soon. The Celtics get Jimmy Butler, and the Timberwolves get Marcus Morris, who's a good starting caliber power forward / small forward. Daniel Tice, who can play backup center minutes. Shane Larkin, and I don't know why I wrote this guy down last. And Marcus Smart. Now Marcus Smart, he's good. That's all I really have to say. The Jazz get Jimmy Butler, and the Timberwolves get Derek Favors and Joe Ingles. That's it. Jimmy Butler for Derek Favors and Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles, if you asked me who he was last year, I'd be like, never heard of him. But Joe Ingles, he really proved himself this year. He doesn't even look like a basketball player. You know, he is pretty tall. He's like 6'3". But really, I mean, that's pretty average. 6'4", I mean. Derek Favors is a power forward. He can start, and he could start over Taj Gibson. And he, you know, both players are pretty efficient. So yeah. Next team is the Hornets. They'll get Jimmy Butler, and the Timberwolves get Nicholas Batum, Jeremy Lamb, and Cody Zeller. Now, Jeremy Lamb and Cody Zeller. Jeremy Lamb can play starting shooting guard minutes. Nick Batum can start at small forward, but I think they're going to keep Andrew Wiggins there. And Cody Zeller, he's a young center / power forward who can grow. Alright, the 76ers get Jimmy Butler. The Timberwolves get Robert Covington and Landry Shamet, and a first rounder for 2023, and Amir Johnson. Now, I was thinking of putting in Gorgie Deng, but I feel like I've put him in too much, and that Philly could just sign a backup center. Anyways, Landry Shamet is a point guard that they got this year. They drafted. The Thunder get Jimmy Butler, and the Timberwolves get Hamidou Diallo, who they drafted, Corey Brewer, Patrick Patterson, and Kyle Singler. Now you're probably thinking, oh, Kyle Singler sucks. He doesn't have a bad contract though. He's only making like $2 million a year, which, if you think about it, that's really not that much. He's pretty efficient, I'd say. Actually, no, he's not. He sucks. But Diallo is a young guy who can play some. He can play some decent minutes. And then, who else is there? Patrick Patterson. He can play backup power forward minutes behind Gibson. And Brewer can play starting shooting guard minutes. Yeah, he can. Next team. Hold on a sec. Only 3 more teams left. The Raptors get Jimmy Butler, Taj Gibson, and the Timberwolves get Kyle Lowry, Malcolm Miller, Serge Ibaka, and a second-round pick for 2019. Now, they get Kyle Lowry because Jeff Teague has proven that he can play shooting guard. I think when he was in Indiana, or was it Atlanta? It was one of those teams. There's some boys wrestling outside. I'll show you. Oh, he took him down. He took him down. I'm just gonna let you guys watch these boys. They're 2 big guys. Oh! Ding, ding, ding. Anyways, I should probably get to reading these teams. Yeah, Jeff T can be moved to shooting guard. Anyways, the Bucks get Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins, and the Timberwolves get Chris Middleton, Matthew Dellavedova, Trayvon Duval, and Thon Maker, and a first-round pick for 2019. And I know